Hi, this is Hunter Estes here, covering the Socialism and Liberation rally here in Madison, Mississippi. Seems like a bit of an oxymoron there to profess both socialism and liberation, but there are a couple people out on both sides. They've got them roped off, the socialist folks here on the right, and they've got a anti-socialist group over there on the left. And so we're going to try to talk to a couple of people, see what people have to say, why they came out today, both for and against, and what's motivating folks. Hey, so we're going to talk to some people kind of around the protest here, people just observing. I'm here with, what's
Marvin,
your name? Marvin?
Marvin.
Pleasure to meet you, Marvin.
Yes.
Marvin, you're from around here, right?
Originally from Mississippi.
Okay.
Spent a lot of time out west, but I'm back here. This is home.
What brings you out today? Which kind of scene?
Curiosity.
Yeah.
I'm just out here trying to understand what these guys are after. Who knows?
Now, are you in agreement? Are you opposed? What do you think about what they're doing here today?
Well, that's right, man. That's what this country's all about. Everybody has a right to say what they got to say. We don't have to agree with it, but they got a right to express their opinions. I think it's awesome, man.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's great. So, you kind of show the crowd here. Pretty small group still. Do you think they're going to have a big impact here today, or what do you think the results are going to be?
Oh, they'll get a little blip on the news, and that'll be it, man. A little write up in the paper, but ain't not going to have much of an impact out here, I don't believe.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Martin, thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And I want to say that, like, we need a movement, we need rebellion, and we need a revolution against this racist capitalist charge. Because the police do not serve and protect us. They never have, they never will. You can find their origins in slave patrols and busting up unions made up of working class people of all colors. The police system, since its inception, has been built to attack oppressed people and the working class as a whole. This is why it doesn't matter if they kneel with us. It doesn't matter if they come up to you and say, "Hey, what's up, man?" It doesn't matter if they promise this and that reform. At the end of the day, the police are a criminal gang, meant to serve the ruling class alone. And as we know, the ruling class is a criminal gang. Progress. The more we keep it up, keep up that energy, the more we keep up the people's movement for liberation. This racism and this oppression that has lasted for 400 years, built off the labor of kidnapped Africans and exploited workers of all colors on the stolen land of indigenous people like the Lakota who are protesting right now to remove Mount Rushmore off of their land, which is rightfully theirs. Even when we try to end oppression peacefully, the authorities still kill us, like they did to Martin Luther King. But the truth is that when Minneapolis and the whole country rose up, those same people who told us we were wrong to rise up, we were wrong to come to Madison, we were wrong to protest in Minneapolis, they still gave us some reforms. They only did that because they feared the power of our movement, as they should. Justice and order comes from the people themselves, not the ruling class.
This is Hunter Estes, and I'm here with
Hazel Jupiter, organizer of the Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for taking a couple seconds. So you were just speaking eloquently a second ago, kind of talking about why you're out here today. Would you mind expanding on that, just letting us know what brings you here today? What are you trying to accomplish here?
Yeah. So, as I said before, part of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And I grew up in Madison. Madison's my home. Went to Madison Central. I know a lot of good things about Madison. I know a lot of bad things about Madison. And, we're trying to kind of, bring all these good people out who are from Madison, too, who are from all over Mississippi, to protest against, racism of the police department. There have been many cases of racism by the police department, roadblocks, used to disproportionately affect black people. The, break into Gaddafi, Manning's home and, choking him. The 3 deaths in Madison's detention center. And we're here to break the silence on that. Because a lot of people have been afraid to go up and, a protest in Madison. But, if other people do it, other people people will follow. So that's why we're out here. That's why we're out here protesting against racism, protesting for a better system. We're here to reach more people, to get more people out. Like imagine 5 people brought 5 people, people like each person here brought 5 people out. Then and then next protest after that they did that, and next protest after that. We're trying to be the first seeds to germinate a new movement against racism and for working class unity here in Mississippi, here in Madison.
Tell us about some of the action items that you discussed. What are the objectives you'd like to see accomplished?
The objectives, just reach out to people. That's really, that's the main goal, is to reach out to folks, to, agitate the folks, to get folks thinking about, the system, to get folks, thinking about organizing themselves, in whatever capacity they find fit.
You mentioned that the racism is inherently tied into the economic system as well.
Exactly.
Can you expand on that, and what would you like to see change about the system? Are there reforms you want to undertake, or is it overthrowing the whole system itself, or what would your preferences be?
Yeah, so we live in a capitalist system. I'm sure most of y'all know that. And what that really means is that capitalism is a system where the ruling class is, the rich, the people who own, property, people who own factories and means of production, things like that. Your boss. And yeah, we're here to overthrow that system because, that's a system where people's wages are taken, where people are controlled in an unjust way, and one of the main ways that the capitalist system perpetuates itself is through racism. It tells people, oh, this person's black, this person's Latino, whatever, you should hate that person. And it makes a lot of the white working class, as we see over here, go against their own interests. And that, we're here to educate people. We want people, more people of all colors to, be for this socialist message. And so we can all have our liberation, And yeah, we think that can only be done if we completely get rid of this capitalist system. It's killing the earth, it's it's causing all this coronavirus, like if people can't have housing, how can they socially distance? If people, can't even access healthcare and things like that, how can they treat themselves?
Talk to me about how capitalism in causing coronavirus. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, coronavirus is a natural thing, so it didn't cause coronavirus, but it made it much worse. So, as I was saying before, if someone's homeless, how can they socially distance? If someone, so why do people still have to, pay rent and things like that? Or even if there's a, quote unquote rent freeze, they still have to pay the rent after, the lockdown. Or people, we had all these police officers walking around here without masks. They're also perpetuating it. So yeah, this system is completely against, the health of the people. It is, against actual solutions for climate change. It's against all these things.
Tell me about your vision for what capitalism should be replaced by. What is your hope for? What fills that void?
Yeah. So capitalism should be replaced by a system. It should be replaced by socialism, where we'll have the working class in charge. Working class people from all sectors, teachers, doctors, janitors, anyone in the working class, is welcome, into governance of the country. And, then we'll have, things like healthcare, school, all these types of things provided for free, and we'll have a system that actually works for the general welfare of the people.
I'm here for both of y'all.
Any concluding message? The cops are here. They just kind of cleared some people out who are filming y'all without your permission. What do you have to say to them? Part of the message, of course, changes to the police department. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So, we got here. They didn't really tell us that they would be calling us in here. We expected, like, a right-wing showing, as, like happens in Mississippi, these things happen. But yeah, I don't really have much to say to them, like everything I had to say to them, I said in my speech,
If the police weren't here, would you be worried about anybody on the other side? At the time, if there was no police presence at all?
Yeah, I would be worried, but I'm also worried now. I'm worried that the police might try something. I'm worried about them, like taking down our tag numbers and things like that just for being here. I'm worried about, because a lot of people say, like if the police weren't here in this or that situation, then I would have been dead, or I would have been, this or that. And that's great. That's great for people that happens to. We're not going to say that, the police never, do anything for anyone. But, what our message is that, yeah, there may be individually good police officers or, whatever. But the whole system, as I was saying earlier, police is based in slave catching. Police is based in busting up unions, breaking up unions and beating up union members as they strike. And yeah, what we're trying to say is that it's baked into police to do those things, to stop us, to frisk us, to illegally search our cars, to go into our homes, beat us up. So wouldn't it be nice if we had a system where police could protect us and all the time, instead of protecting us 5% of the time, then beating us up all those other times, right?
Any other final comments you want to make, or anything you want to share?
Yeah, I think that's all.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. If I can shake your hand, any thoughts on it?
Yeah.
All right, we're here on the other side of the protest now. Here with what was your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris.
Oh, not at all.
Hunter again. Chris, what brings you out today?
Just to show support for my brothers and sisters in law enforcement.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I was just on the other side hearing from the folks. They said that we have a racist system, we need to overthrow capitalism and institute socialism in this country. What do you think about that?
Well, as you can see by my hat and the tattoo on my arm, I believe that we live in the greatest country in the world. And the good thing about this country is they have the right to say that here. Go travel to some communist countries and say that same thing, and you may wind yourself up in jail behind bars, never to be seen again. So America is in fact the greatest country in the world because they have a right to say that. And while I may disagree with what they're saying, I fought for their right to say it. I don't have any problem with peaceful protest. When you pick up rocks and bricks and you start breaking windows and looting stores and costing people their livelihoods, then it's time to take a stand. And I'm here to support law enforcement and thank them for the job that they do. That's all.
And what do you think about, they're saying, I asked them earlier, are you worried at all if the police weren't here about your interactions with the other side? And the leader said that yes, he would actually be concerned for safety if the police weren't here. Do you think that's ironic at all? In terms of the police presence actually making people feel more safe?
I actually saw a video on social media where some people were about to break windows and loot a store. And the store owner, the only thing he had to protect himself with was the chainsaw. He cranked it. And the first word the looter said was, call 911. There's your irony right there. You want to call the same people that you're protesting against to come save your life. My father fought for this country in Korea. I have two uncles that fought for this country in World War II. I served multiple tours, Desert Storm, Iraq and Afghanistan. Even my youngest son served in the Marines. We believe in America. We believe in freedom, all freedoms. I won't try to force my views on them, just like I don't think they should try to force their views on me. We can agree to disagree. It's the greatest thing about this country. We can agree to disagree.
Do you think there's an increase right now in terms of the modern progressivism? We now hear echoes about defunding the police, tearing down statues of the founders, even blowing up Mount Rushmore has become somewhat popular among certain crowds. Where do you think that came from?
When I was in elementary school, we used to start the day with a prayer and pledge allegiance to the flag. That's the America I grew up in. Erasing history is not going to change history. If we want this country to change starts right here. I can sit down and eat a meal with one of those folks if they'll respect my opinion and I'll respect their opinion, and we can break bread together. You throw a punch or throw a rock at my head, that changes the conversation. Because I'm not gonna start the fight. But I'm here just, like I said, to stand up for law enforcement. I sleep well in my bed at night knowing that there are police officers out there, and I'm a retired police officer myself. I'll go ahead and tell you that. I sleep well in my bed at night knowing, one, I have a right to defend my home. I believe in the Second Amendment. And I know that if glass breaks, I can call 911, and there's going to be somebody that I don't even know willing to come and risk his life to save me and my family. And you can get that everywhere.
That's very well said.
Get that in America.
Anything you want to add as we close out?
God bless America, bro. Thank you for what you do.
Absolute pleasure.